When the United States believed it had complete control of the skies over North America, a quiet Scandinavian nation, Sweden, rewrote the rules of modern air power. Canada was expected to join the elite F-35 club, a loyal customer of America's trillion-dollar defense empire. But then, something unexpected happened. A deal emerged that stunned analysts, shook Washington, and made NATO question who really controls the future of its skies. This is not just about fighter jets. This is about independence, intelligence, and how Sweden outsmarted the United States.
Dark notice. The unseen exposed.
For over half a century, America dominated the global fighter jet market. The F-16, the F-A-18, and later the F-35 became symbols of Western military supremacy. But each jet came with a hidden price: dependence. Every screw, every software line, every maintenance code was American-made. Buying a U.S. jet didn't just mean purchasing hardware. It meant surrendering a piece of national autonomy. Washington used its aircraft not only to defend allies, but to bind them, economically and strategically. Through NATO and bilateral agreements, the United States built an ecosystem of military reliance that stretched from Europe to Asia. And for decades, it worked. Canada, one of America's oldest allies, was part of that system. As a founding NATO member and partner in NORAD, the joint U.S.-Canada Air Defense Command, Canada's skies were protected, maintained, and controlled through American technology. But times were changing. By the early 2000s, Canada's aging CF-18 Hornets, modified versions of the U.S. F-A-18, were becoming obsolete. Maintenance costs skyrocketed, spare parts grew scarce, and the fleet struggled to meet modern combat needs. Washington had one solution: buy the F-35, the fifth-generation stealth fighter, sleek, powerful, and astronomically expensive. The F-35 program, plagued by delays, overruns, and software issues, was still being pushed as the only interoperable option for NATO. But Ottawa wasn't convinced. Canada needed a fighter built for defense, not invasion, a jet that could patrol vast Arctic skies, survive harsh winters, and operate far from major bases. Above all, Canada wanted sovereignty over its technology and data. That's when Sweden appeared, quietly. Sweden's Saab aircraft manufacturer offered something revolutionary: the JAS-39 Gripen. Unlike American jets designed for global power projection, the Gripen was built for survival and efficiency. It could take off from a 500-meter stretch of road, refuel and rearm in under 10 minutes, and fly again, even in sub-zero conditions. Its design philosophy came from Sweden's Cold War doctrine: disperse, survive, and strike back. But what truly caught Ottawa's attention wasn't the aircraft itself. It was the deal. Saab offered full technology transfer, local production in Canada, and complete data sovereignty. That meant Canadian engineers could modify the software, upgrade the avionics, and maintain the aircraft independently. No American permissions, no black boxes, no surveillance backdoors. This was something Washington could never offer. The Gripen E, Saab's newest variant, wasn't just good enough. It was world-class. Its AESA radar could detect and track stealth aircraft at long range. Its Arexis electronic warfare suite could jam and blind enemy radars before they even locked on. It carried long-range Meteor missiles, capable of hitting targets over 200 kilometers away, missiles even the U.S. Air Force quietly admired. And all this came at half the cost of the F-35, both to buy and to operate. Every flying hour of a Gripen cost about $7,000. The F-35, around $35,000. That difference alone meant more flight hours, more training, and more readiness. When word spread that Canada was seriously considering Sweden's proposal, Washington went into overdrive. Lobbyists flooded Ottawa. Defense journalists published warnings about interoperability risks. U.S. diplomats privately reminded Canadian officials that NATO unity depends on the F-35. But behind the scenes, Sweden had already built quiet credibility. Nations like Finland, Hungary, the Czech Republic, and Brazil were flying Gripens successfully, maintaining full control over their systems and spending a fraction of what F-35 operators paid. If Canada joined that list, it would mark the first time a North American country chose European independence over American dominance, and that terrified Washington. When Sweden had achieved something extraordinary, not through force, but through strategic intelligence and technological diplomacy, by offering freedom instead of dependence, Saab challenged the U.S. military-industrial monopoly that had dominated for generations. If Canada took that leap, the ripple effect would spread far beyond North America. Nations like India, South Africa, and Indonesia would take notice. They'd see that small countries could build strong air forces without becoming pawns in a superpower's playbook. Because the Gripen isn't just a jet, it's a philosophy, a statement that innovation and sovereignty can outsmart brute power. For over 50 years, the skies were America's playground. But in a world driven by software, autonomy, and adaptability, the advantage is shifting toward the nations that think smarter, not louder. Sweden, with its modest size, neutral tradition, and visionary engineers, just proved that true power doesn't always come from the biggest budget, but from the boldest idea. And Canada, by daring to choose independence over influence, might just rewrite the defense story of North America forever. If you found this story eye-opening, subscribe to Dark Notice for more deep geopolitical documentaries. Because in the modern world, the quietest nations often make the loudest impact.